problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on. I say, please, swallow your pride.
Swallow it, brother.
If you have pain, you need to borrow. I'm right up the road, and I'll share your load if you just call me.
That's it.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
First time I've had a husband and wife on.
All right.
Awesome.
And definitely the first time you all missed it before the show. We sang impromptu singing, which I love to do. And that was beautiful. And that really is, it's so symbolic because I just so believe in the laughter and music together
Yeah.
are the greatest connections with God that you could have.
Absolutely.
It's like a bullet train. When you're singing, when you're in those moments, we had harmony going.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, I'm not even a singer.
yes,
Sound
you
good
are.
to me.
But
What do you mean you're not a singer?
Of course I'm not.
Wait
I'm
a
a
minute.
stand-up
Wait a minute.
comedian. But by the way,
Well, that's funny.
you don't know this part though. You toured with Kenny Loggins,
Right.
And by the way, I loved you in the concert. Did you ever watch your husband on stage?
Of course I watch him on
Isn't it
stage.
a riot?
I
He just brings such an energy. I love your energy, which is why you're here
Aw,
today.
thank you, man.
It is so different than anyone else in the band, but everyone else is great. But he's got this thing, and I know what it's like to work with Loggins. It's not easy.
Oh, I know.
He's very particular. He'll shoot you a look. I'm sure you've seen the look. But
I've
you
been
don't know
lucky, I
this, but
guess.
I toured with him opening, doing comedy. And for a whole year and a half, and it culminated in Broadway, which I always love Broadway.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
Kenny Loggins, special guest Craig Shoemaker on Broadway. Before the show, he goes, Craig, I'm freaking out. Triss is sick. Can you sing bass?
What?
So I had to learn the bass line over dinner and everything else. And I came back after doing my show with sunglasses because no one could see
love
the
it.
pain in my eyes as I search
it.
for these notes because the bass line is different.
Right.
Oh,
Oh, and I'm all right.
You
Yeah.
got to have that bass. But anyway,
Dip, 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 dip.
Yeah.
you're a pro. I won't do it in front of you.
By the
But
way, Broadway is where she got her start too. Pretty much.
Kinda, yeah.
Kinda.
Is that true?
did. I did.
How can you
Yeah.
kinda?
Yeah,
Well, no,
kinda.
I mean, I was already
serving
working.
popcorn. What do you mean kinda?
Well, she means
I was
Actually,
there.
that's true. Westwood Playhouse.
It
I
wasn't her
was.
start, I guess.
I did actually seat people. I was an usher at the Westwood
course.
Playhouse when I was in college.
There you
At
go.
UCLA. But now I went to New York because I
And?
really just wanted to be a song and dance girl. That was my dream.
Okay.
And I started working as an actress kind of very early because I had a young face and I was able to play really young parts for a long
Yeah,
time.
because a lot of times they have to because they can't. The
Yes.
kids have to have a tutor and everything else, so
Exactly.
they have to have people. I was actually living with a woman who played a 14-year-old, and she was 28.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I did high school till I was 27.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was kind of one
It's
of
a
my.
little pervy,
One of
but-
my
Yeah, I know.
It
I'm just thinking,
is, it
I couldn't
is.
say a thing like that on the air. No way.
It's a little strange. But so I would go every summer to New York and try to do a show because I
Okay.
was a singer dancer.
Try to do a show. I'm still.
I would do a show.
I'm still
So I did,
wondering
like-
how to kind of Broadway. Are you?
Oh no, I did.
You're a husband, and you still don't know the answer. to
Yeah.
this.
Oh,
So
I did.
were you actually on?
Beehive,
No.
the
What's that?
Beehive, the '60s rock and roll musical, the Broadway musical Beehive. I did.
On
In
Broadway?
Trousers, I did. So I did shows, yes,
That's
and then I
awesome.
did tours, and I did lunch with this great show.
Little did you
That
know.
was written by
Steve Dorff and,
John
Bettis.
Bettis.
No way.
Yeah, great writers, man.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, speaking of that, Songwriters Hall of Fame, it upsets me that Kenny Loggins is not in.
Yeah,
Not that we're
what's
going to
going
talk
on
about
there?
Kenny Loggins the
No,
entire
it's-
time here, but I've actually reached out
Yeah.
on his behalf to two friends of mine
Really?
that are very big Hall of Fame songwriters. I'm like, what's the deal here?
Yeah.
One of them, I think, has a personal thing. I think that's what it is. One of the guys, yeah, he's like almost admitted it. But like, how can you not let? I mean, this guy
No.
wrote so many incredible songs.
I didn't know
Absolutely.
he wasn't there.
two,
I had
gr-
no idea.
two Grammys or more and throughout his lifetime.
Right.
And yeah.
He's
Right.
not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or Songwriters Hall of Fame, which is the songwriters especially. That's
Right.
absolutely. But let's talk about both of you. Why? I'll tell you why. Because
Okay.
this show, it's called Still Standing Up, and it really is about we've been knocked down, and especially
Yeah.
we're in show business.
Yeah.
add another layer to the knockdown. Everyone in show business has been knocked down, probably more than most occupations, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I
Oh, I
think so
think it
too.
I
goes
never
with
even
the
talked about this
territory.
before. The rejection that takes place is astronomical. If you're
true.
auditioning for, you've been an actress, for many years. How many times do you think you were rejected?
Oh my gosh. So many times. You have to get
What do
to
you think the
me.
number is? I said a
Oh
number
my God.
today,
I
and I'm
would
going. I'm probably
say, well, I
I'm,
mean, I
for
looked.
every
I
one
was
you
still
get.
the
How many?
3%.
It's
So I would say probably three out of four, at least.
you're rejected.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to say I'll do 100 auditions, and all of them rejected. And then add the dates that I get rejected, so now I'm up to 500.
Oh, yeah, now I got you now, yeah.
So it's a series of rejections, we have to learn how to be resilient. And tell me about both of your experiences with resilience, with these difficulties you have with rejection. It could be in show business, it could be career, it could be relationships, it could be siblings, whatever it is. What's your experience with how you deal with rejection?
You want to take that?
I don't know. Mine would have to be more relationships because and this is another thing about still standing up because it's how you've turned a corner. But throughout my life being in relationships and in and out of them, I know that I've always thought it's the other person's fault every time.
Really?
And I always thought, they don't get it. They don't get it. They don't get it. But I'm the one being rejected. It's like, wait a second.
Right, yeah.
But looking at it though, what the common factor is me. And when I really start looking at it, I got to make some changes in how I'm dealing with this. And I'm looking, and it's all about that projection. I heard somebody talking about that recently. I think it was you.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm really, really focused on that being an issue in our world. It's so much projection. The anger that comes at you if you put a post that they don't like, or you say something. I mean, your lyrics they wouldn't really object to, but my lyrics of comedy, they are objecting.
Yeah.
And it's some sort of projection of something they're not healed inside of themselves.
Yeah.
They
and
recognize themselves in you.
But and it's hard to recognize that when you're the one doing it because you just feel they're coming at you for some reason,
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. In the music business, I haven't put myself out there enough. When I was trying to get a record deal in the olden days, back in when I was in my 20s, I had a couple of managers trying to get me out there and found a couple of people that were interested, but no, it's not our thing, not our style. No.
Yeah.
And I had that feeling. I really felt inside though, I love doing this, so I'm just going to keep doing it. I didn't care about that much, but I know that it kind of had an effect of somebody not liking you, and that was kind of important. I needed everybody to like me.
Yeah, and that
So
can't be
that's
the
hard.
motivation.
No,
It can't be.
can't.
It
And
can't.
I'll chime in on
Yeah,
that
please
one.
do.
Always chime in.
So,
It's a free flow,
I
baby.
would say, for
Save
me,
me.
that in the beginning of my career, it's sort of something that happened that I fell into, but a lot of it was underlying a need to prove my worth that came
Yeah.
from an unhappy situation as a child.
Yep.
So when I moved out here and I ended up finding that I was kind of getting accolades for certain things and I was good at certain things, I followed that path. But at some point, I realized it would have either taken me down or I had to master it. And I had to figure out. And I remember the moment I was on a plane reading a book called The Road Less Traveled. And Scott Peck. Yeah. And another one, What You Think of Me Is None of My Business, Terry Cole Whitaker, big influence.
Yeah.
I was reading that book on a plane flying to New York in between jobs because I did both. Like I was saying, I'd go from LA job to a New York job because I wanted to be in theater.
Sure.
So, but I kept making a living in LA. So I went and I was reading the book and it basically stopped and said, what you're doing, if you're overdoing to get someone else's approval
Yeah.
or feedback, then your focus is in the wrong place.
Yeah.
And if you went on an audition and you know what it was like, there might be 25 people sitting in a room. I was so sensitive that if somebody was picking up a phone over there, I'd think, oh gosh, they don't like me.
Of course. Yeah.
You may immediately get disrupted by that. And I had to stop and realize, wait a minute, this is my space. This is all I have control over. And 99% of the time, they're dealing with something in their own life. It has nothing to do with me. And how arrogant of me to think that the world revolves around me. So it was a big wake up for me.
It's like it's a self-obsession issue. You
Yes.
know, when you become results oriented,
Yes.
you're empowering them to dictate how you feel about yourself, and it just we can't live like that.
No.
You'd never know. Like, how did you ever know when you were studying music and you would end up on Craig Shoemaker's podcast? I mean,
Who could ever predict that? I mean, to
I
think
think we've made it.
when
We've
you're,
actually
Someday.
when
made
you're
it.
going through that list of things where of achievements, I've got to have this, I've got to have that.
oh man.
Here's something I
This
might
is
have
my
shared on the
bucket list.
podcast before this, but I did really well from nothing. And I got the Academy Award of Comedians, right? I became the #1 comedian in the world or the country. And it was the loneliest night of my life. The loneliest.
Okay, that
Okay,
is
why do you-
so crazy you just said that.
Isn't it crazy? I
Yeah.
mean, you would think
Why do you,
I mean, I couldn't wait to win this award. The previous winners were Jerry Seinfeld and Ellen DeGeneres and Jeff Foxworthy. So I figured now I'm going to have my own sitcom about a show about nothing. Anyway, that night when they said my name and I'm in a tuxedo and I had a great speech that I said, I walked backstage and I watched people instantly change their energy towards me.
towards you? Wow.
Yeah. I watched it happen. I became the target. I became the jealous.
Aw.
You
You
become the
saw it.
jealous, and you get the whole I'm a phony, imposter syndrome.
Oh,
It
boy.
all came at once. And then I'm driving around in a limo by myself with a trophy. Go, where do I go? Who do I share this with?
Yeah.
So here, my whole life, I can't wait for something like this, where you were in it for all those reasons, right? We want attention, we want love,
Yeah.
and it's the opposite. You get resentment,
Ugh.
you get
Yeah.
jealousy. That's what you receive in
When
return.
you're,
So
when
here,
you're in your zone of genius,
So
really?
you're s-
You know?
So the
lonely
spiritual,
there?
the journey
it's
then.
lonely because they're dictating also. Now they're dictating that you win this award too. Then there's a problem with that as well. It's just because they decided that I was the best, but
Right.
it's us believing that we're the best. That's the most important thing. That's the award or the reward or award to receive that. And that's on a daily basis. We get a daily reprieve on that one.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's why we have to live by that famous Eric Butterworth quote
Okay.
that it doesn't matter what happens around you or what happens to you. The only thing that matters is what happens within you.
Within you. Yeah.
It's only about you.
Yeah,
It's
the
only about
answer-
our experience
Yeah.
and what we're enjoying doing and what we want to do and how we feel we can express ourselves and the joy we get from it.
Yes, and be in those moments of what was funny is I have to tell you guys, I almost had tears in my eyes when we first started today and you pulled out the guitar and there was
Yeah.
true literal harmony. And
Yeah.
by the way, I don't know how to harmonize.
We did though. We had three
I
part
know
harmonies
it was
love that.
It
unbelievable
was so great.
because there was no agenda. There's no somebody's watching me. I'm going to get discovered. Somebody's going to go. You have an album deal. There's none of that happened except for the presence that we feel.
Yeah.
Which is ethereal and beautiful, and you were just in that harmonic spot. And
Yeah.
is there? So it was so metaphorical for me. I'm going, wow, man. I think you might hit that note, comedian boy. You know what I mean?
You did.
And it was like, whoa, okay.
And you
just-
got that raspy, cool thing going with your
That's
voice,
right,
too.
man.
I love that.
yeah, hey, soften it up, man. Soften it. You know how to belt, but now you're gonna be. One time is one of those parties where we met. Tom Jones came up to me and he goes, "You got chops like Pavarotti." So he says, "I got chops like Pavarotti." I had to put it on film for my mom. Of course, I got to appeal to my mom
Oh,
because
yeah.
it can't be just like
Aw.
be in the moment, man.
Yeah.
Be in the moment. Like, yeah. Do you think you hit those notes? Yes, you did. And that's the thing with music is it is literally harmonic.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's a convergence that we have with higher spirit.
Totally agree.
Yeah. And you
Wow.
you have been named the pastor.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh boy, here we
can't
go.
call me pastor. I'm the irreverent Reverend Sherry.
I didn't know
it's
what to
kind of-
call you, but I stopped into your church. It was wonderful. I'd love to
Aw.
experience all pathways
Yeah, we do too.
to our inner self, our divine. And that I got to experience that. And your music ministry is so great. And you bring that positive energy, which I told you when I watched Kenny Loggins, I was there for a second to last show, and I watched you.
Right.
You have this energy that is so infectious, and it's also so loose without fear.
Yeah.
You've
Just
seen
having
your
so much-
husband. You know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely, I do. Absolutely.
Having fun, which we don't
Having
have
fun.
enough fun out there. We're so
Yeah.
pressurized. I
Yeah,
got
yeah,
to
yeah.
perform. I got to be a form of someone else.
That's right.
It's per my form. And no, but the form is so it doesn't have a form.
No. Rock and roll is not
No,
serious
it's
business. It's like, I don't know,
Yeah.
but it is too. There's that part too. But no, you
yeah,
got to
there's
have a
the
good
business
time.
of show business, of course, and that's what gets you up there. You got to charge tickets and all that kind of stuff, and that's what keeps us afloat, and that's what keeps the bills paid and all of that.
Right.
But when I walked into that church, you might make $3 or whatever.
Right.
You're not in it for the money.
No, we're
Can't
not.
be.
No, we're not.
You're
I've been
in it
there
for the-
11 years, and what's really funny is the first couple of years I was invited to go up and sing and just be
Yeah.
a guest singer. And when I lived in the Valley, and the church is Unity of the Oaks in Thousand Oaks, which I love Unity because it honors all paths to
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
And recently became a Unity minister this last year.
Yeah.
Because when Rick was on the road, I thought, you know what, I'm going to go through seminary because
So you went through the
I
process.
did. I went through the process.
And where do you do this? Online?
I got to do a lot of it online because of COVID, which was a gift for me.
oh, wow.
Before COVID, I would have gone to Unity Village in Kansas City.
You would have to do that
Yes,
to be.
I
to
would have.
be-
It's
to
a
be
college or
it's a
something.
we are considered a practical progressive approach to Christianity based
that
on the
right?
teachings of Jesus. It's metaphysical Christianity.
Mhm.
It's very much like science of mind, centers for spiritual
No,
living, very
yeah,
along the
yeah.
you know.
No,
it's very
well,
much
I
so.
do, but
Yeah,
they don't.
yeah.
You know, I was
Yeah.
That's
I always
true.
go, yeah, I knew that, but well, they don't. And there's a lot of people listening. They're going, what is she talking about? Science of mind? Is that Scientology? I mean, there's a lot of
No, right.
It's
confusion.
not
There
though.
is,
It's
there
not
is.
that. But
Not even
it's-
close.
No, Unity is very much metaphysical Christianity. It's based on the teachings of Jesus
Mhm.
and what we like to share as his oneness consciousness and claiming and understanding that the Christ within us and within our own nature, our divine identity.
Isn't
or
it
spiritual.
funny how religions like argue with one another, even Christianity?
Oh, yeah.
I went to this thing. It was called Turning Point. I don't know if you know what it is. It's very I don't like the term, but for lack of another term for people listening, right wing, very right wing.
Okay.
Okay. And that's not where I've ever been. I'm definitely like a lefty,
Or us.
but I left the left. I left the left because of the intolerance and the
Yeah.
lack of inclusion, and there are now warmongers. You got to be kidding me. So it's everything that I stood for, but I'm never going to go to the other side. But I did want to see what that was like. I have to tell you, it was pretty magnificent, though, some of these speeches that I was listening to, because I was open to hearing it. And I
Mhm.
went with this pastor friend of mine. He's one of my best friends. He's been on the show from Newbury Park. And I said something to this guy. This guy wanted to know my testimony. I guess that's a thing.
Okay.
And because here I was kind of like, had the credibility of being with this big pastor. And this guy flipped out at me because I said Christ consciousness. He goes, "That's not in the Bible.
Oh, yeah.
How dare you?" And he went
Yeah,
off
yeah,
on
yeah,
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that's the interpretation that people have. They're so locked into. So even religion can get in the way, the pathway to our own peace.
Well, you know what?
Why do we not want to be peaceful and happy?
I think it's
That's
our
always-
capacity for love. I think we all look at God as the way that we look at love. And
Mhm.
some people's idea of love is very controlling,
Oh, yeah.
very overbearing,
That's
very
right.
protective. And that's the way they look at God.
Yeah.
And instead of focusing on the fact that it's really our own interpretation, that we're people that are interpreting what's right and wrong and recognizing that that's not God in us.
Mhm.
That's my ego or that's my mind. And as even the Bible says, read the spirit of the letter, not the letter of the law, the spirit of the law.
Yeah, the spirit.
The spirit.
And that, by the way, and his brother, his son-in-law stayed there. He literally left the table. Like, that's how mad he was at
wow.
me. Oh, I couldn't believe it. And I'm sitting there, shame
Yeah.
me.
I know.
Like, I'm a Philly guy, by the way. I'm going to come back at you.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is not
He's
over.
very wealthy, by the way, so people are intimidated by him. Not me. I don't care who anybody is.
Listen,
They're-
I have to deal with
I'm
the
going to
whole
go right back at him. But then I said something, and I had a discussion, which was beautiful, with the other guy who's also very, very Christian and has the ideas. And it came out like, I said Christ consciousness, it's Holy Spirit.
Yes.
So it's semantics.
Yes.
What's the difference? And we should all be one in the same club,
yes.
the universe.
Yes.
And that's what a lot of science of mind is about. It's
Right.
about the universe and what you're
Right.
putting out to the universe and divine love and agape love. I raised at agape.
And so was I. And even Jesus said to us, love one another. That's the only commandment we were given.
Yes.
Love one another. How do you love each other when you judge?
He also
and
says,
shame?
forgive them for they know not what they do.
Exactly
So
right.
I had to forgive that guy.
Exactly right.
He didn't know what he was
I have
doing.
family members, Craig, that don't acknowledge that I'm a minister at all because number
Oh,
one, I'm female.
It's
and
not
in-
their way.
And in
you know,
some churches, that isn't allowed.
Yes, their brains
Still
were
not
not
allowed.
trained
Wow.
like that.
I know.
Yeah, it's, I believe in, progress. I believe in evolution. And yet there are some standards from the past that can be used in the present. And I think we're trying to manage that right now because there's almost like this fight of progress, which has to do with, okay, is it progress, the gender identification, all those things? Is that progress or is that regress?
Right.
We don't know
Right,
yet, do
right.
we? It's only experiment.
I think Unity's trying to be a bridge, though.
Trying to be a bridge, yeah.
between old thought and new thought. I think a little
I
bit.
agree with you.
Yeah.
Interesting,
I
yeah.
think
because
Old thought, new thought.
We're
Yeah.
I think it's
we're
really needed.
inclusive.
Right.
Very inclusive.
Yeah.
But is it inclusive? I mean, I'll debate that. I mean, a little bit. I mean, I'm all about being inclusive. That's so important, and that's listening to one another.
That's
But
right.
what happens is the people that are now trying to be included are attacking people for not understanding them or what this is about or the shifts. And I think that's the debate that's going on right
Agree.
now.
That's
So
the hard
we're,
part.
We're being knocked for, being some old man that doesn't get it.
Right.
But maybe if you can explain yourself in a more spiritual way, not only will I get it, I will want more of it.
And some of those ideas, inclusivity doesn't work because you can include me and you, but I can't include you in what I believe because you don't believe that this is the only way.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I believe that this is the only way. And
You know-
and we're saying no, whatever works for you is
Yeah, and
as long as we're connected
It's a
together.
lot of trial by error, but it's a lot of error. There's
Yeah,
a lot of error
a lot
going
of
on.
error,
And
yeah.
I don't know if you've run into this. I've ran into this, and I love this term. The wellness community is now blending into the spiritual community. So now they're selling you products,
Oh.
and the wellness grifters.
Mm-mm.
And I've
Grifters.
they're wellness grifters.
Grifters.
Okay.
Oh, they grift from place to place, from multi-level marketing to multi-level marketing, and they're professing to be holding space. That one's driving me nuts. I got to do a comedy bit about that. Do you know what that's? Do you ever use that term? I'm holding space for you.
We do, but we say it in affirmative prayer because in unity,
Okay.
we speak not to a presence outside of ourselves,
Yeah.
but we incorporate the idea that there is infinite, intimate, and innermost God all working at the same time.
My
In other
argument is if it's infinite, you can't hold it.
Right.
There you go.
There's no
Here.
place
Here.
there's no place
Come on.
God is not. So actually I can hold you
Exactly.
and you are God too.
Yeah,
So I mean
that's
that's why
that's
I love
literally
that.
holding. Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
It's
right.
this whole. I mean, there's
But-
a lot of stuff that's out there. That's about self-obsession. It's about even criminal activity that they can justify because they're spiritual. I think a lot of that's going on, and I stand my ground if I see this stuff that's not resonating properly with me.
Yeah.
It just seems phony.
Yeah.
Good for you.
And I just stand my ground, and a lot of people don't like it. Have you guys ever found this to be true? Is when you bring the truth. I know you two are both big truth tellers. I can look into your eyes and know it, right? Like I
Yeah,
get
of
it.
course.
I get it. I get it with you. Got it with you the minute I met you. And there's certain people that's just the way it is. Do you find yourself offensive to people when you bring that truth and they're coming from a place of lies or whatever it is?
No.
And they,
I
you
know,
don't
I
have that
used to-
happen?
I used to
Wow.
back-
I do.
I had a lot of family, believe me, that don't resonate with the way that I look at life.
Yeah.
For me, it was a very practical path. I searched for higher truth to rescue me from some of my pain,
Yeah.
honestly. And so I've been on a spiritual journey for a really long time. But I also recognize that we are all here in Earth School to learn our own curriculum.
Sure.
I can't judge someone else's, and I don't want them to judge mine. But if
Yeah.
I can stand, and I've just recently had this because once I became a minister and had an actual credential or
Mhm.
title,
Yeah.
I would just basically walk away from those kind of discussions for the most part. More
Mm.
recently, I've stood in my truth, and I've been proud of myself for doing it. I still try to find the common denominator.
A common
try to
denominator. I guess let me reframe it for both of you. If someone comes at you when you know what the truth is, right? I'll give you an example. I would like to give specific examples.
Yeah, it works.
So I got a deal with somebody, a financial deal. The person was avoiding me a lot. And I was the requests I was making were very, very minor, like something that you would expect to happen in a deal. And then I found out the reason for the avoidance is there's some, like, I don't want to call it criminal activity, con job going on. Now, me discovering that, I don't know if you can guess what happened in return when I'm like calling it out, going, wait a minute, that's the truth, or this is the truth, and this is the truth. And I'm speaking not from some version of the truth. It is the truth. It's a fact. I can show you emails. I can show you whatever it is. The response has been just vicious attacks, vicious, deflective attacks upon character, assessments, criticisms, everything else to do with, hey, where's the money?
Wow. Yeah.
So what I'm asking you is, because you're truth tellers, I'm a truth teller, and people are offended by it, and they run from it, and they'll attack it. Have you had that happen in your life?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I did a video during Contagious Optimism live series that Ricky Power was on with us about the upside of Alzheimer's, because my mom, I was caregiving my mother who had Alzheimer's, and I was looking at it from the positive perspective. I was looking at the benefits of it. I was trying to be an inspiration to people.
You have to say one of the benefits now, because we're going, what?
Oh no,
I'm not. I get it.
You
But-
do get it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Living in the
I dealt with
moment.
my
A
dad.
lot,
Then maybe
a
I'm
lot of
wrong.
a lot of things that well, yes, she could live in the moment. She didn't have
More present.
more present. There was a
Yeah.
lot of wonderful stuff. But just the name of that alone, the upside of Alzheimer's,
Yeah.
when it got released, the amount of hate stuff
Oh,
that I
yeah,
got, people saying,
yeah.
she has no idea. She's da-da-da.
Right.
And then they argued with each other because someone said, her mother has it. Of course she knows what's going on. This whole
Yeah.
thing back and forth, just slamming it.
Victim
just,
mentality,
yeah.
blame. That's a lot of society. That's
Yeah,
what's
well,
going on.
I think and want to say and believe that we are all here to heal
Yep.
our belief in separation.
Yep, I
Period.
agree.
Period. And so that victim mentality is the one thing that holds us back.
And we are taught this and programmed.
Yes.
I'm talking, when I coach, I talk about you have to deprogram by working a program. You have to literally have a program, a spiritual program, and a practice. And I like to say the repetition then causes the intuition. Right now, the instincts or intuition is off. It's not even,
Yes.
you're not even listening to your intuitive self. You're listening to this other self that's been bombarded by media and parents and peers and all of that.
It's the monkey mind.
Yeah, the monkey mind has taken over.
We
So
call
it's
it
now-
deconstructing in
it-
unity.
Yeah.
All
It
right.
is.
Yeah.
It's being able to wean out the false voices and listen to the still small voice, the truth that's within you that we all have.
And one of the reasons you guys are on here is music is truth.
I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly.
Well, that's a good segue.
It is. Actually, because I'd like to talk about what we're doing because of that.
Yeah.
And one of the things when I met Sherry, she had put together a trio of girls, sort of like the Andrews sisters, called the Tweedly Divas. They went to these places.
It's not a listener who knows who
This
the
is
Andrews
why- this
sisters
is
are.
why
but
I am
I'm the only-
actually-
I'm the only one, folks.
This
who
is
knows
when I was
who-
actually on Home Improvement making my living as an actress. Okay.
Oh,
This
you
is
were-
what-
that's
but-
right.
But this was what I
So-
did from my heart.
And
For
she
my mom.
took. Well, why don't you tell us what
No,
you
I
did?
want
I
you-
just loved it because I did a few of these with her when the other two girls weren't available, and I just played guitar and we'd do a duo, and we go to these different places, old folks' homes, and the dementia ward especially was one of the places where I was like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
And when we played this music, and I know that this is a big deal for you because you're professing this as well.
Mhm.
The music is such a healing thing.
Yeah.
We see these people come alive and they start singing along, and
It was amazing.
No filter.
It was
it-
amazing.
It's just so you're connected with God.
it was
Yes.
the
That's it.
coolest thing I've ever seen.
And
There's,
some
there's
people-
nothing in the way.
Even I was one woman, especially, I remember her coming in a wheelchair with her head down all the time. And one day I started singing oh my gosh, I could have danced all night.
Mhm.
And at the end of it, this hitting a high note, she stands up out of her wheelchair and sings that note with me. And her whole
Wow.
family was there, and they were just like,
What?
she hadn't spoken. She just went, "Ah!" and they said she used to be a singer, and I lost it. And I thought, okay,
Yeah.
this is why I'm here.
Mm,
This is why I'm here.
That's
This is
powerful.
the language, the common language,
It's true.
reaching someone at that level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is what I think he was
I
talking
saw
about.
it, and
Oh, you were
I
there?
I was there, not for that one, but
Oh,
I
okay.
mean,
Yeah.
like that stuff
Yeah.
like that. But I might have been there for that actually, because that
You
happened.
might have been there for
Things
that.
happen
That's
like
pretty
that.
memorable. Wow. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's
It was
Just so
insane.
many things like that.
it's the resonance, it's the frequency, it's all the vibration that takes place. It's pure. It's flow. That's who we are.
That is who it-
Authentically, that's who we are. That's who we're born to be. Love, light, and levity. We're born like that, and then they take over.
You should have
start-
been.
they
Okay,
start-
my talk last week,
Piling it up.
inimitable you. It was
Yeah.
all about your uniqueness
Yeah.
and being that and accepting that.
You
and
know
living
what I
that.
want to offer to you guys? I just thought of this. I want to offer my Laughter Heals program
Okay.
to your community.
You're in.
I'm going to come in
You're
there
in.
and I do a guided laughitation.
Right.
Love it.
Now you know how you meditate, right?
For
Yes.
sure.
Do you start your services with meditation?
Yes, we do.
So you're having a conscious contact with this spirit that's within all of us, right? And what laughter does, though, it's faster. Because I'm meditating and I'm going, I have laundry to do.
Yeah.
Is that girl over there looking at me? Whatever it is, I'm thinking these things. When you're laughing, you can't think any of those things. You're only in presence.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to do one with
I
you
would
right now?
absolutely
okay,
love
here
it.
we
Okay,
go.
I would love it.
Okay. Just
Should we
follow me.
Should we back up from our mics a little
I
bit?
call them
yeah,
either I call them either chuckle chatter or guided laughitation.
We don't blow them out.
Which one do you want? You want to go deeper? You want to go deeper or a little just minor? Which one do you want to do?
You choose.
You choose.
No, you have to choose because this is a volunteer
Was it an
thing.
amount of time thing?
No, it could be, but the deeper one we're going to deal with some woons. So if you don't want to go there, no big deal. We don't have to go there.
We could go there.
We could go there with some
Sure.
wounds.
Why not?
Why not?
Okay.
As long as I don't
They
have
don't
to
have
talk
to-
about my wounds.
They don't have to be heavy. It's your choice. Here's what we're going to do.
Okay.
Just follow me. Take a breath through your nose and let out a ha. Feel that?
Yes.
Now, when you sing hallelujah, what are you singing? Ha is a cleansing word. Amen. Krishna, Buddha, Allah. All right, now you're going to breathe out. We're going to do a shortened version here.
Okay.
You let a chuckle out. Okay, ha ha, until you can't breathe anymore. Ready? Squeeze it.
Okay.
Okay, see? Yeah, you're a little lightheaded, right?
Oh yeah.
You're truly bringing in the light. It's light. They call it lightheartedness. That's what laughter is, right? You're light, you're levity. It's a pure form of God and consciousness. So we're going to do another one. Ready?
Okay.
Just let out a chuckle at the end. Just let it go through your nose. And feel that ha. Now take notice and become aware of looking at one another. Looking at one another. By the way, you're cleansing now. You're getting rid of your cough here. Think of how connected we now are, because now it's just pure. We just see one another as you don't see. It's loose, it's light, and that's what laughter does.
Yeah.
Now, the other element I bring to this is say out loud while you're laughing something that's in your way of your higher consciousness, of your pureness of self, of your love, of your whatever it is. It's in your way, and I'll start. You guys laugh along with me. By the way, see how contagious it is?
Oh, totally.
Laughter
Oh,
is
yeah.
contagious.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're going to laugh at me, I'm going to laugh at you, whatever it is. People at home are actually listening and laughing and giggling. You can't help yourself sometimes when you're hearing giggling.
Oh man. Okay.
And children laugh like 300-400 times a day, and we do 20. It's
Oh, I
ridiculous.
love it.
So let's surpass the children. We're already doing that today. So I'll start it off by, something that's in my way. Ready? My ex-wife wants more support. I have to pay the lawyer to negotiate, which costs more than the support. And every time the lawyer calls, I'm frightened of how much money it is, and how many times I ask her to stop. She won't stop. Going the legal route, which is not spiritual. All right, breathe through your nose and let out a ha. Now.
We don't have a backyard.
I got
Oh,
one.
you're
I
gonna
was
do it.
going there. I was going there.
I mean, we have a giant backyard, but our dogs have to go to the bathroom in the house all day.
They poop on the poop deck.
Oh, how are you ever going to teach them how to go outside when we finally get that yard?
How long has it been going on?
Ever since we moved to Moore Park.
How long ago?
2019.
If your house smells like urine.
It's awful. That's why I never invite you over.
And if I laugh too much longer, I'm going to wet myself.
All right, take a breathe through your nose and let out a ha.
That's hilarious.
Now.
Wow.
Look, your place still stinks.
It does.
I'm still broke.
I don't care anymore
It
right
doesn't
now.
matter. It's
It
exactly
doesn't
right. You
matter.
get to the
It doesn't
meaninglessness
matter.
of it. We put so much meaning into things. I hope everyone went along with us and you say your own. Say your own. Whatever your pain points are, you can go deep, you can go small. It doesn't matter. You put yourself into that state of consciousness, and that's the guided laughtation that I'm offering to bring to your church.
Yeah.
All right.
You
Let's
tell
do it.
me when.
You guys are,
Yeah.
we'll take this upper level because meditation and prayer are beautiful, but it's very, you can give into your distractions, you can give into your fears a lot easier. When you're in those moments, you literally can't be angry. When you're laughing, you can't be angry,
true.
depressed. You can't have any other state except for that absolute bliss and high vibration.
And when you first told me about this, I thought, yeah, but you know that you're faking your laugh. You know it. And
Yeah.
you said it doesn't matter because
I
as
told
soon
you.
you said as soon as you start laughing,
Oh,
you're
can't-
laughing.
it can't
It's not
jump.
fake
You can't-
anymore.
you
You're
can't
not
fake
fake
it.
after
You
the
can't
first
fake
couple
it.
chuckles.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I'd like to say that, when you work out, your body's not going, wait a minute, I'm on a Stairmaster. Wait, I'm on a hill. It doesn't care. It's
Yeah.
just, you're pumping that oxygen
Yeah.
throughout your body. Your heart is, you feel your pulse and your skin. Everything
Here comes the
improves.
dopamine or whatever that
Exactly.
is.
You're getting a dopamine hit.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
we have to kind of fake it till we make it.
That's-
That's true with everything.
By the way, prayer and meditation.
it's
Who's great at
who
that?
lear- who
It takes a
learned
lot of
I
practice.
learned that
Yeah.
from my mom when she had Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
I could change her state by when she was upset by just saying, "Oh, Mom, you look so pretty. You look so pretty today." And then she'd like, "I do." Suddenly
Reset.
she was happy. Reset.
Reset.
We can do
Like
it.
that.
We have to do
Yeah.
it. I look at myself in the mirror if I'm
Yeah.
feeling icky.
Yeah.
It's a Tony Robbins trick, but it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
It works.
Well, now here's your new reset.
All right.
Do some laughtation, or I call it chuckle chatter as well. It just takes you into a whole other realm of beauty and possibility and abundance. It just puts you in that place. I've had really tough stuff in my life, but laughter literally saved my ass. Well, made a career out of it.
Right.
But you're just seeing a career of a guy that's healing his wounds.
Yeah.
And hopefully healing other people's wounds.
Seems like that's where we all are in
Yeah.
our own way, man.
Yeah.
Well, you want to tell them what we're doing?
Tell it, yes, please.
Oh, well,
Tell what you're doing.
why don't you? Because
Well, when we
Yeah.
met, actually, both of us, Rick had been performing as a musician for many, many years. I've been an actor for 40 plus years, honestly, and everything.
by the way, hold on, I have to stop you because your first
My debut on television was a show
Oh my
you were
gosh.
on as well.
I was
I
on.
played a recurring character twice on my first guest star ever.
Matlock.
I had
With
a
Matlock.
I had a mullet. That's how long
Oh,
ago it
right.
was. It was
Wow.
Matlock. Yes.
Matt-
That's
Matlock.
hilarious.
Yes. And
Yeah,
then
mine was a
got to
long
meet-
time ago, too. Very, very long time.
What was yours?
I played the wife of I was on trial for murder because the guy married 3 women, and I was the youngest and the newest wife that he married.
Matlock?
On Matlock, yeah.
Did you work with Andy?
Oh yeah, yeah. But my longest run was Home Improvement. I was on that for 5 years. I played Al's girlfriend on Home Improvement,
Oh,
and then
wow,
I was
that's
in
cool.
the movie Bring It On. I played the mom, and I've had a long time.
Well,
long
that's
career.
a great gig. Is Home Improvement.
It was a great gig.
My boy
yeah.
Tim Allen. I go
Love
way
him.
back with him.
Loved him.
Wow, that's
Love
awesome.
Richard Karn. So when Rick and I got together,
Yeah.
we decided to put I had a big turning point in my life. when I was kind of at the top of my game, I sort of asked God, what did I come here to do?
Yeah.
What's mine to do? Is this it? I was kind of like, this is it. I had just gotten a star on the Walk of Fame in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And kind of like you, it was a big disappointing moment because my family wasn't there.
Yeah, there
to
you
Who
go.
do I share
to
this
support,
with?
yeah,
There
to
you
celebrate.
go.
And
Yeah,
I
that's right.
remember that. And it was a moment of, what did I come here to do? What's mine? And I really got this message and started working towards producing and creating and writing stuff that was coming through for me. And the first project went on PBS, and I started to learn to produce and edit and different things. And then Rick came into my life, and we formed a company called Turning on the Light Entertainment, which is about positive content, inspiring, uplifting heroes. We did a lot. We did like 20 different interstitials for PBS about local heroes doing really cool things. Homeless karaoke from, to just a whole bunch of different fun things. Both of us learning how to be behind the camera as well as, everything else.
This is awesome.
Then we did
It's
a
really
movie.
cool.
It's all in alignment with everything that I'm doing.
Yeah.
I just want to keep forming and increasing the community. And here's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ricky, who
Just-
you've worked with as well, Ricky
Right.
Powell, he and I are connecting on this happiness. I
Well,
mean,
Ricky Powell took over. I did Smile TV, which was a thing that we did here. I was the original owner of Smile TV. So
Before
I know Ricky
Sandy?
with
Sandy,
Sandy.
yeah.
Sandy and I started
outta
it
here.
together.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sandy
What?
and I started it together.
what?
Yeah.
I was almost involved with
That's
it.
hilarious.
I was coming in there. I don't
But then
believe
we
it.
went, so we have
That's
a
how-
movie
Can we
out.
add another 15 minutes? We're going to need that.
Wow. So tell us, really get.
So we
let's
have
okay,
a,
so the movie.
we have a movie out right now called Lily's Light, the
Yeah.
movie, and it is a family
You
musical.
made a
playing-
movie?
We did, and it's
Who funded it?
everywhere. My investor, Art Klein, and it's
What a nice
yeah,
man.
You know,
yes.
Fred Willard is in the movie.
Fred Willard, Mindy Sterling.
Mindy
and
Sterling from Austin Powers is in it.
No,
She
I know
was-
her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Know
sure.
her personally, yeah.
It's
and
we did it. Was
and Sherry Hursey.
It was a
Yeah.
half-hour pilot, and then it turned into a feature film. Rick's in it. Rick Cowling's also in it.
Must have been a
and
few years ago because Fred's been passed away for
Yeah.
a couple
we,
years.
Yeah,
we,
he-
Rick, he was in the original
Uh-huh.
version, and then we went back in 2017 with
Yeah.
the cast, the older cast, and reshot a wraparound story because our distributor wanted to make a feature film, and it wasn't long enough.
Wow.
So we added another 45 minutes, and it just got released 2 years ago, and it's now all streaming everywhere. It's on
Right.
Timu and
Tell us
you
the name
know,
of it again.
Lily's Light, the movie.
Lily's Light, the movie. And you
Yeah.
wrote it?
Yes.
Yeah. And we wrote the
Wow.
music, the two of
Yeah.
us, because
I'm
we're
sure
songwriters.
you did. I'm sure. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you write often together? Give me the ratio of together writing and separate writing.
Well, I haven't
Mostly.
mostly together lately, and because we really haven't written. I haven't really written much else.
You
We've
write
been working
song-
together.
You probably write a lot of songs for your
Uh,
church, a lot of
but
spiritual songs,
you know,
right?
we have a few now.
And
a
we've
few
written
now.
stuff for TV, and we've written. Rick used to do a lot of stuff like that, and then more recently, we've done stuff like that together.
Yeah,
we
I'm
did-
kind of disappointed in how prolific I've been recently, though. I got to get back into it. We've been
Wait a minute, you're disappointed at how prolific you are?
how non-prolific
okay.
I am. Thank you.
I was
I'm
gonna say,
disappointed, and I'm just so into it.
I'm
It's
so prolific, I can't.
so good.
I'm very disappointed.
all.
There's a lot of pressure I'm putting on myself. This prolific thing is just ridiculous. How
I'm also
prolific I-
disappointed that I can't speak correctly.
I'd like to be less prolific. I'm kind of serious because,
Yeah.
like the chill times are not often,
I get
and
you.
we need them.
Yeah.
Like you were on a
Yes, we
tour,
do.
you need some downtime. I've
Yeah.
been on tour since high school, junior year of high school. Need
Yeah.
some downtime, and my mind does not stop. So sometimes you have to recharge,
Yeah.
reboot. I call it a spiritual rebooty call.
I like that.
Sometimes you got to
You
do
do.
that. And I'm encouraging everyone out there, reset yourself, find those moments. You know what I'm going to do? Today I'm going to get something I never do, but so it's outside of the box. I'm going to get a pedicure.
Oh,
I've been
You know,
trying to get him to get a
damn-
pedicure for so long.
but I get it because I was out with Kenny with Ambrosia doing
Yeah,
all these,
yeah.
out on tour all the time, and that's why, I need to come home, reset, and then it'll flow, and you get
Yeah.
your flow back.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And
We
then
s-
when you have that divine connection with our inner, spirit, that's when the beautiful material comes out. And it can come out. I can make an opera. That's the thing. There's no cap. There's no cap. There's no
Exactly.
The
labels.
sky is the limit.
Exactly
Well,
right.
we started writing at a challenging time. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2015, and we'd only been together for a year.
Less than a year.
And that
Yeah.
what we decided to shoot everything, videotape everything, because
Yeah, we had our video crew with us. So we just started
on everything, and then we started writing music.
taking.
Working together, do you ever want to shoot each other?
No, we actually get along really well when we're working
It's true.
together.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
I think we have more challenges when we're not working.
Yeah.
So now the breast cancer, you dealt with that how? Did you use holistic healing
both.
practices? Yeah.
Music,
Both.
too.
It's a whole
Yeah.
nother hour story. We
Right.
actually have, and we gave you guys. We're almost finished with the movie, and we have a little trailer for it. But it's mostly musical. It's kind of uplifting. I did both. I had the privilege of meeting an amazing Ayurvedic doctor that I loved, and I
Yeah.
went to him first.
Good.
And before they even scheduled chemo for me, I had been on his protocol for a month.
Yeah.
And then I did some internal work. That's a whole other story. I went into bio-reprogrammer and got some help kind of pinpointing where the false belief was still sitting in my body and what I needed to work on
I want
internally.
people to hear this because
Yes.
I want
It's
people
huge.
to understand
It's huge.
that we empower doctors, we deify doctors. They don't have all the answers. Because you step back and be logical about it. Oh, because this guy's down the street from me, he has the answers. They don't all practice the same way.
No, and they also
But-
are
but-
fear.
Exactly,
Based.
fear-based and
Yeah.
bribed and
Right.
all that kind of. Let's just step back. I'm not knocking on all
No,
doctors,
no, I'm not
but
either.
hear me when I tell you. Holistic approach,
Yes.
because there's Eastern medicine. It's been around a very long time. Let's be logical about this. A lot longer than we've been around with our egos and our arrogance, because we think that only our system works. We're actually very unhealthy in this country
Yeah.
because we don't practice.
That's right.
We don't practice these
We're not
alternatives.
treating the whole
They shouldn't even be
person.
called alternatives.
Right.
It used to be the way it was until money came in, and then the
Yeah.
bribes come in, and the
Ugh.
convincing comes in, and then you're a conspiracy theorist if you challenge it.
Right.
Step
Right.
back,
Wow.
listen to your higher source is going to tell you the healing is here. It's within you, but it's also going to guide you. If you listen, it'll guide you into different methodologies that are practice.
Yeah. Well,
Let's
that's
sing-
what happened.
I
think
know
you
without a doubt
Find
that-
what.
Let's sing a song, by
Oh,
the way.
what do you want to
We're
do?
going to sing a song. I have an idea on one because you said the word amazing. I'm thinking Amazing Grace.
Well, that's funny.
Really? Is that? Is that?
That's what came up. I mean, it might be a little too freaky for people.
Let me get. Should I
That's
get my
kinda-
guitar?
That's
Yeah,
kind
get
of
your
how we
guitar.
actually met.
You met doing Amazing Grace?
We
That's
met.
right.
We actually did. I called him because we had done a session together for a mutual friend who introduced us and had me come and sing. And then I called him up later and said, "Hey, will you produce a track of Amazing Grace for me?" Isn't that funny?
Now, I'm sitting here
I
as
tell ya, man.
it's amazing. Literally.
Grace.
That's how it works.
I'm sitting here, keep going. And so this is what being a host of something like this is. I'm putting myself out there, subjecting myself to criticism. You come from parenting, you were talking about family. I know where you're leaning with that is people have a certain paradigm they live by, and anything outside of that, they object, and they object loudly.
Right.
And especially comedy, loud objections. Squeaky wheels are getting the grease. So I said to myself just now, I said, what song would be appropriate? The word Amazing Grace came up. And then my doubts come in. And I go, okay, wait a minute. That's going to be too religious for somebody. So I started thinking, I get codependent. I go, oh, what if somebody's Muslim? And I go, what Amazing Grace? I didn't tune into this standing up podcast to hear this.
Well, we actually were going to sing a song for you. We brought one to sing, but I'm good with whatever
No,
we
let's
want to
do-
do.
Well, we'll end with that, and let's do one together.
Okay.
Are we going to do Amazing Grace?
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saves a wretch like me. Look out, man. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. kind of it.
Woo,
Oh, there's
man.
another verse.
Did you bring your? Do you know it?
Was
Do you know the other
grace
verse?
that
That's all.
brought me here thus far.
My heart to
To
feel.
And grace my fears relieves. How precious was did that grace appear. The hour I first believed.
Wow.
Woo, you guys.
There you go.
I don't know.
That was really cool.
That is cool.
That was
cool,
awesome.
and we didn't even know the words, but we
In
came
the-
up with them.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't
That's
matter.
the thing.
That's
And
awesome.
when we get into those moments where it matters, then you're not in your artistic flow. Then you're not tapped in with the creator doesn't care. The creator doesn't have judgment. The creator doesn't have criticism. The creator's not our families from the past.
Absolutely.
That's right.
It's in the present. It's in the mindfulness. It's in the
Wow.
consciousness, the state of consciousness. And that's where you go when you go to those. I don't know that I can sing. And there's a little judge in me who goes, don't go to that note. Don't go to the note. You're not a singer. You're a comedian. And it just,
Well, you know
Yeah.
what? That's the fun thing about what I love when we get to sing every Sunday together most of the time. Now Rick's my music director.
Yeah,
so
I
I
know.
moved into my another hat.
awesome.
And he's the music director. I used to be the music director. So it's really
And
fun.
what a great
for us.
music director. All right, listen,
fun.
I
Okay.
loved having you all on.
Thank you so much for
This
having
could go
us.
on forever, especially since it's both of you. I'm going to stop by your church again, and I'm going to bring you
Love it.
some guided laughitation as well.
Oh, and our
Yeah.
movie there's a
Yeah.
screening happening
Yeah.
on May 9th at Simi Valley
No way.
Studio
Movie Grill.
Movie
Am I
Grill.
invited?
You're
And
invited.
you're invited.
6:30.
6:30,
May
Okay.
9th.
May
I'll
9th.
be
If
there.
you can do it,
It's a
Um,
family musical. It's
it's
a
a
kid.
family
You have to
musical.
bring
You
your hot
guys come to my
chocolate.
show. Go to craigshoemaker.com.
That's right.
Okay.
Craigshoemaker.com's got all my dates performing. You guys take us out now with your original song
Oh, sure.
you're going to bless us with on
This
Still
song
Standing
is-
Up with Craig
this
Shoemaker.
song is in the movie. Lilly's
Sherry
Life.
Hursey and Rick Cowling have been with us today. How about that? Now they're going to take us out with a song. Make sure you follow them. What's your social media?
It's Hursey_Sherry, and I'm not sure what Rick says, but you can find us on
Rick
Lily's
Cowling
Light,
82, I think.
Lilly'sLightTheMovie.com or Turning on the Light Entertainment.com. You can find us.
I'm out of tune. There, close enough for rock and roll, right?
Boom, that's it. Close enough for a podcast.
This is the first song we wrote together.
Nice.
As a flower shows its petals, as a baby bird takes flight, as the morning sun says day's begun, there is a spark of light.
As the snow falls on a mountain in a canopy of white, as a rainbow crawls through a waterfall, there is a spark of light. And it ignites the flame within us.
A burning love that has no end. This wheel of life with its gifts of light spins round and round again. When we give our hearts to someone, when we try with all our might, when we sing out loud, reaching for the clouds, there is a spark of light.
Ooh, in the sound of playground laughter,
In the gaze of true love's eyes, in a mother's face when her newborn takes the very breath of life, as it was in the beginning, in this world that has no end. This wheel of life with its gifts of light, spins round and round again.
And in our deepest sorrow,
or in our darkest night, when we're far from home, we're not alone, there is a spark of light.
without a doubt,
The stars come out, there is a spark of light.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That's the way to end this. Still Standing Up podcast, Craig Shoemaker. How about that? How about a hand? You have to expect a hand, but we have an empty
what's
studio.
going on?
Sherry Hursey and Rick Cowling were our guests today. I hope you as good a time as I had, and it might be ending now, but we're going to go sing in the other room. You don't get to be there. All right. See you next time. Make sure you pass the word about us. All right. Remember, live in the light. See you next
Right.
time.